The grand hall of the Zavorian palace shimmered with lights from 1,000 floating crystals. Marcus Chen stood at his position near the main entrance, his dark uniform blending into the shadows. His eyes never stopped moving, scanning every face, every corner, every window. He was a bodyguard for the Earth delegation. A simple job, they said. Just stand there and look professional. Nothing ever happens at peace summits. Marcus wished he could believe that. Across the massive hall, Princess Lyra of Zavoria stood on the central platform. She was tall and graceful, her silver skin catching the light like moonstone. Her purple eyes held wisdom far beyond her 25 years. 6 elegant arms moved as she spoke, a sign of her royal bloodline. Her voice carried through the hall without any microphone. "Today marks a new beginning," Princess Lyra said. "Humans and Zavorians together at last. 2 worlds, 1 future." The crowd of aliens and humans clapped. Diplomats smiled. Cameras recorded everything. It looked perfect. Too perfect. Marcus felt the hair on his neck stand up. Something was wrong. He had learned to trust that feeling during his 10 years in Earth's Special Forces. That feeling had saved his life more times than he could count. His eyes caught movement in the upper balcony. A figure in servant robes moved too quickly, too deliberately. Marcus's hand went to his weapon, but he was too far away. At least 60 meters separated him from the princess. The assassin's robe fell away. Underneath was black armor covered in strange symbols. The assassin's 4 arms raised, and in 2 of them was a weapon Marcus had never seen before. It looked like a sword, but it glowed with purple energy. The blade hummed with power. Time seemed to slow down. The assassin leapt from the balcony. Zavorians could jump 3 times higher than humans. The attacker fell toward Princess Lyra like a meteor of death. The energy blade aimed straight for her throat. Security guards were too far. Her own guards were on the wrong side of the platform. Nobody could reach her in time. Nobody except Marcus. He didn't think, he just moved. Marcus ran faster than he had ever run before. His boots pounded against the marble floor. Diplomats jumped out of his way. Someone screamed. Alarms started blaring, but they were too late. The assassin was falling. The blade was 3 feet from the princess's neck. 2 feet. 1 foot. Marcus launched himself through the air. His body crashed into the princess, throwing her sideways. She fell hard against the platform, gasping in shock. The energy blade meant for her throat struck Marcus across his chest instead. Pain exploded through his body. The energy blade burned like fire and ice at the same time. It cut through his uniform, his skin, his flesh. Blood sprayed across the white marble floor. Marcus felt his ribs crack. His vision went white with agony. He hit the ground hard. Blood poured from the massive wound across his chest. He could not breathe, could not think, could only feel the terrible burning pain. Through fading vision, he saw security guards tackle the assassin, saw the princess crawling toward him, her purple eyes wide with horror, saw his own blood spreading in a dark pool around his body. "No, no, no!" Princess Lyra's voice sounded strange, distorted. She grabbed his face with her 6 hands. "Human, stay with me! Do not die!" Marcus tried to speak, but blood filled his mouth. His chest wound was too deep. He knew what that meant. He had seen enough battlefield injuries to recognize a fatal wound. He was dying. The princess pressed her hands against his chest, trying to stop the bleeding, but there was too much blood. It poured between her fingers, hot and red. "I will not let you die for me!" she screamed. Her voice echoed with power that Marcus did not understand. "You saved my life. I owe you everything." She began speaking in her own language. The words sounded ancient, powerful, like thunder rolling across mountains. Her 6 hands glowed with golden light. The light grew brighter and brighter until Marcus had to close his eyes against it. He felt something hot press against his chest, against his wrist. The pain changed. Instead of burning fire, it became something else, something that felt like lightning running through his veins. Princess Lyra's voice rose higher, chanting words that seemed to shake the very air. Marcus felt her hands on his wound, and the golden light poured into him like liquid sun. Then everything went dark. When Marcus woke, he was lying in a soft bed. White walls surrounded him. Medical equipment beeped quietly nearby. His chest felt strange, tight, like it was covered in thick bandages. He tried to sit up and gasped. There was pain, but not as much as there should be. The grand hall of the Zavorian palace shimmered with lights from 1,000 floating crystals. Marcus Chen stood at his position near the main entrance, his dark uniform blending into the shadows. His eyes never stopped moving, scanning every face, every corner, every window. He was a bodyguard for the Earth delegation. A simple job, they said. Just stand there and look professional. Nothing ever happens at peace summits. Marcus wished he could believe that. Across the massive hall, Princess Lyra of Zavoria stood on the central platform. She was tall and graceful, her silver skin catching the light like moonstone. Her purple eyes held wisdom far beyond her 25 years. 6 elegant arms moved as she spoke, a sign of her royal bloodline. Her voice carried through the hall without any microphone. "Today marks a new beginning," Princess Lyra said. "Humans and Zavorians together at last. 2 worlds, 1 future." The crowd of aliens and humans clapped. Diplomats smiled. Cameras recorded everything. It looked perfect. Too perfect. Marcus felt the hair on his neck stand up. Something was wrong. He had learned to trust that feeling during his 10 years in Earth's Special Forces. That feeling had saved his life more times than he could count. His eyes caught movement in the upper balcony. A figure in servant robes moved too quickly, too deliberately. Marcus's hand went to his weapon, but he was too far away. At least 60 meters separated him from the princess. The assassin's robe fell away. Underneath was black armor covered in strange symbols. The assassin's 4 arms raised, and in 2 of them was a weapon Marcus had never seen before. It looked like a sword, but it glowed with purple energy. The blade hummed with power. Time seemed to slow down. The assassin leapt from the balcony. Zavorians could jump 3 times higher than humans. The attacker fell toward Princess Lyra like a meteor of death. The energy blade aimed straight for her throat. Security guards were too far. Her own guards were on the wrong side of the platform. Nobody could reach her in time. Nobody except Marcus. He didn't think, he just moved. Marcus ran faster than he had ever run before. His boots pounded against the marble floor. Diplomats jumped out of his way. Someone screamed. Alarms started blaring, but they were too late. The assassin was falling. The blade was 3 feet from the princess's neck. 2 feet. 1 foot. Marcus launched himself through the air. His body crashed into the princess, throwing her sideways. She fell hard against the platform, gasping in shock. The energy blade meant for her throat struck Marcus across his chest instead. Pain exploded through his body. The energy blade burned like fire and ice at the same time. It cut through his uniform, his skin, his flesh. Blood sprayed across the white marble floor. Marcus felt his ribs crack. His vision went white with agony. He hit the ground hard. Blood poured from the massive wound across his chest. He could not breathe, could not think, could only feel the terrible burning pain. Through fading vision, he saw security guards tackle the assassin, saw the princess crawling toward him, her purple eyes wide with horror, saw his own blood spreading in a dark pool around his body. "No, no, no!" Princess Lyra's voice sounded strange, distorted. She grabbed his face with her 6 hands. "Human, stay with me! Do not die!" Marcus tried to speak, but blood filled his mouth. His chest wound was too deep. He knew what that meant. He had seen enough battlefield injuries to recognize a fatal wound. He was dying. The princess pressed her hands against his chest, trying to stop the bleeding, but there was too much blood. It poured between her fingers, hot and red. "I will not let you die for me!" she screamed. Her voice echoed with power that Marcus did not understand. "You saved my life. I owe you everything." She began speaking in her own language. The words sounded ancient, powerful, like Marcus ripped the medical sensors off his chest. The machine screamed warnings, but he did not care. He needed to get out of this room, away from the princess, away from whatever she had done to him. His boots hit the floor hard. The glowing mark on his wrist pulsed with each heartbeat. It felt warm, almost alive against his skin. He grabbed his jacket from the chair and walked toward the door. His chest still hurt, but the wound was healing impossibly fast. 3 days ago, that energy blade had nearly cut him in half. Now he could walk, could breathe without pain. That was not normal. Nothing about this was normal. Marcus reached for the door handle. His fingers were inches away. Then the pain hit. It felt like someone had wrapped chains of fire around his heart and pulled, hard. Marcus gasped and stumbled backward. His wrist mark flared bright gold, burning like a hot iron pressed against his skin. "What the?" he gritted through his teeth. He tried again, reached for the door, got closer this time. The pain doubled, tripled. It felt like his bones were being crushed from the inside, like every nerve in his body was being electrocuted at once. Marcus fell to his knees, clutching his chest. Sweat poured down his face. The mark on his wrist was now glowing so bright it hurt to look at. "Stop fighting it!" Marcus's head snapped up. Princess Lyra stood in the doorway, her 6 arms folded across her chest. She wore simple robes today, but the golden chain still hung around her neck. Her purple eyes watched him with a mixture of sadness and something else. Guilt, maybe. "What did you do to me?" Marcus snarled. He tried to stand, but the pain knocked him back down. "I saved your life," Lyra said quietly. She stepped into the room, and the door closed behind her. "You were dying. The Kelvara bond was the only way." "I did not ask for this," Marcus shouted. The mark burned hotter with his anger. "No," Lyra agreed, "you did not. But you also did not hesitate to die for me." She moved closer, and Marcus felt the pain ease slightly, just slightly. "The bond knows its purpose, Marcus Chen. It will not let you leave me." "Why?" Marcus forced himself to his feet, leaning against the wall. "What is this thing?" Lyra sat down on the medical bed. For the first time, Marcus saw how tired she looked. Dark circles under her eyes, her hands trembling slightly. "The Kelvara bond is ancient, older than our oldest cities. When someone saves a royal life at the cost of their own, the saved one must perform the ritual. It binds our souls together." "Souls?" Marcus laughed bitterly. "That's impossible." "Is it?" Lyra raised her wrist, showing her own glowing mark. It pulsed in perfect rhythm with his. "Can you not feel it, human? The connection between us?" Marcus wanted to deny it, but she was right. He could feel something, like a rope tied around his heart, stretching across the room to her. When she had walked in, the pain had eased, the mark had calmed. "How far can I go before the pain starts?" Lyra's face grew darker. 100 meters, no more. 100 meters? Marcus felt his stomach drop. You mean I can never be more than 100 meters away from you? Yes. For how long? Lyra looked away. Forever. The word hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. Forever. He was a soldier, a bodyguard. His whole life was about missions, about moving, about freedom. And now he was chained to this alien princess for the rest of his life. There has to be a way to break it, Marcus said desperately. Some kind of reverse ritual, something. There is no way to break a Kelvara bond, Lyra said softly. Believe me, I have searched. My own mother had such a bond once. She spent 20 years trying to break it. Marcus stared at her. What happened? She went mad, Lyra whispered. The bond grows stronger over time. It does not just connect us physically. It connects our minds, our emotions. Eventually... She stopped, her voice breaking. Eventually what? Marcus demanded. Lyra looked him straight in the eyes. Eventually, you will not know where you end and I begin. Your thoughts will become my thoughts. My pain will become my pain. We will be two bodies, but one soul. Horror crawled up Marcus's spine. That's not a bond. That's a prison. I know, Lyra said, and there were tears in her purple eyes now. I know what I have done to you, Marcus Chen. I have stolen your freedom, your identity, your future, all to save your life from the death you chose. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the alien city sparkled under 3 moons. My mother's bondmate was a warrior named Krell, strong, brave, independent, like you. The bond ate away at him piece by piece. First, his emotions merged with hers, then his thoughts. By the end, he could not remember who he had been before. He became just an extension of her will. And your mother? Marcus asked. She could not bear what she had done to him. She threw herself from the palace tower. The bond killed them both in the same instant. Silence filled the room, heavy and terrible. Marcus looked at the glowing mark on his wrist, his beautiful, terrible prison. Why did you not let me die for you? Marcus whispered. Lyra turned to face him. Tears ran down her silver cheeks. Because I am selfish. Because I was afraid. Because in that moment, when you jumped in front of that blade, I saw something in your eyes that I have never seen before. What? A choice freely made. No orders, no duty, no reward. You just chose to save me. Nobody has ever chosen me before, Marcus Chen. Everything in my life is duty, obligation, political arrangement. But you chose. Marcus wanted to stay angry, wanted to hate her for what she had done, but looking at her now, seeing the guilt and pain in her eyes, he felt his anger crack. Does it hurt you too? Marcus asked. Yes, Lyra admitted. When you try to leave, I feel your pain as my own. When you hurt, I hurt. The bond does not favor the one who cast it. It binds us equally. Marcus tested the connection, thought about running. The mark flared immediately, and he saw Lyra wince, her hand going to her chest. So she was a prisoner too, just in a different way. What happens now? Marcus asked. Now you stay by my side. The royal court is furious that I bonded with a human. They say you pollute the royal bloodline. Some want you executed. Let them try. They cannot, Lyra said with a sad smile. If you die, I die. The bond is absolute. A sharp alarm suddenly pierced the air. Red lights flashed throughout the medical bay. Lyra's communicator buzzed frantically. She touched it with one hand. A holographic figure appeared, a Zavorian guard, his face panicked. Your Highness, the Assanin we captured has killed himself, but before he died, he revealed something. The attack was not random. There is a cult hunting you. They call themselves the Shadow of Thorns. They have
agents everywhere in the palace." Lyra's face went pale. "How many agents?" "Unknown, Your Highness. He died before revealing more. But he said they will not stop until you are dead." The hologram vanished. Lyra stood frozen, her 6 arms trembling. Marcus felt something strange through the bond. Her fear. It washed over him like cold water, mixing with his own emotions. "How do we stop them?" Marcus asked. "We cannot," Lyra said. "They are shadows, ghosts. They could be anyone. Guards, servants, nobles. We would never know until the blade strikes." She turned to look at him, and Marcus saw real terror in her eyes. "The bond was meant to save you, Marcus Chen, but I fear I have only dragged you into my death with me." The lights flickered, once, twice. Then the door exploded inward with a deafening boom. Smoke filled the room. Through it, Marcus saw shapes moving, black armor, glowing weapons, at least 5 of them. Lyra screamed. Marcus's body moved on its own. The mark on his wrist erupted with golden fire. Power surged through his muscles, his bones, his blood. He felt faster, stronger than he had ever been. His hand grabbed a metal tray from the medical table. He threw it like a discus. It struck the first assassin in the face, and the attacker went down hard. But 4 more were coming. Their energy blades hummed with deadly promise. Marcus stood before Lyra, his body a shield between her and death. The bond burned in his veins, filling him with impossible strength. The lead assassin laughed, a cold mechanical sound. "The human plays hero again. How touching. Kill him first, then the princess dies lowly." They attacked together.
The first assassin's blade came at Marcus's throat. He should have died, should have been too slow, should have been just a normal human facing alien killers with impossible weapons. Instead, his body moved without him. Marcus watched in horror as his own arms snapped up faster than thought. His hand caught the assassin's wrist mid-strike. Bones crunched like dry wood. The attacker screamed. But Marcus was not controlling his arm. Something else was. The mark on his wrist blazed like a star. Golden light poured from it, wrapping around his body like armor made of pure energy. His muscles swelled, his vision sharpened until he could see every detail, every movement, every breath in the room. The bond had taken control. Marcus's body twisted, his leg swept out, striking the second assassin's knee. The joint bent backward with a sick crack. His other hand grabbed a piece of the broken door and drove it through the third assassin's chest like a spear. Blood sprayed across the white walls. What is happening to me?" Marcus tried to speak, but his body kept moving, kept fighting, kept killing. The fourth assassin stumbled back, fear in his eyes. "The bond! He has the Kelvara warrior enhancement! Retreat!" "No," the lead assassin shouted. "The princess must die today." But Marcus was already moving. His body flowed like water, like lightning, like death itself. He felt no pain, no fear, only the burning need to protect. Protect her, protect the princess, protect, protect, protect. The bond screamed the command through every cell of his body. Marcus's fist crashed into the lead assassin's face, once, twice, 3 times. The alien's skull cracked, 4 arms went limp, the body dropped. Then silence. 5 assassins lay dead or dying on the floor. Marcus stood in the center of the carnage, breathing hard. Blood covered his hands, his clothes, his face. None of it was his. The golden light faded from his body. Control returned to him like water rushing back into an empty bucket. Marcus looked at his hands, looked at what they had done. His stomach twisted. I killed them," he whispered. "You saved me," Lyra said from behind him. Her voice shook. Marcus spun around. The princess stood against the wall, her 6 arms wrapped around herself. She looked terrified. Not of the dead assassins, of him. What did the bond do to me? Marcus demanded. His voice came out harsh, angry. I was not in control. My body moved on its own. I could not stop it. The bond protects me, Lyra said quietly. When I'm in danger, it takes over anyone I am bonded to. It makes them into perfect weapons, perfect guards. Perfect weapons? Marcus stepped toward her, and she flinched. That small movement broke something inside him. I am not a weapon. I am a person, and that thing inside me just used me like a puppet. I know, Lyra whispered. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Sorry is not enough, Marcus shouted. The mark on his wrist pulsed with his rage. You turned me into a thing, a tool. Do you understand what that feels like? To watch your own hands kill and know you are not the one controlling them? Guards rushed into the room, weapons drawn. They froze when they saw the bodies, saw the blood, saw Marcus standing there like some kind of monster. Stand down, Lyra commanded. The human is with me. He protected me from an attack. The guards looked uncertain, but lowered their weapons. Their eyes kept darting to Marcus with fear and disgust. One guard spoke into his communicator. Medical team to the princess's quarters, multiple casualties, and alert the High Council. The Kelvara bond has activated its combat protocols. Marcus felt cold dread creep up his spine. Combat protocols? How many times has this happened before? The guard would not meet his eyes. Answer him, Lyra said softly. The guard swallowed. 17 times in recorded history, Your Highness. 17 bondmates who activated the Kelvara warrior enhancement. None of them remained sane afterward. Marcus felt the room spin. Sane? What do you mean, sane? Lyra touched his arm gently with one hand. Even that small touch sent warmth through the bond. Calming warmth. Soothing warmth. Marcus jerked away from her. Do not do that. Do not use the bond to manipulate my emotions. I am not, Lyra said desperately. It happens automatically when I touch you. The bond wants us to be close, to be connected. I do not want to be connected. Marcus backed toward the window. I want my life back. I want my mind back. I want... The mark flared. Pain shot through his chest. He was too far from her. The bond was punishing him for pulling away. Marcus fell to his knees, gasping. Lyra rushed to him, and the moment she got close, the pain stopped. You see, she said, tears streaming down her face. You cannot even be angry at me without the bond causing you pain. That is what I have done to you. That is the prison I built. Marcus looked at her, really looked at her. Behind the royal bearing, behind the alien beauty, he saw something he recognized. Guilt. Crushing, terrible guilt. Your mother, Marcus said slowly. The bondmate who went mad. What really happened? Lyra sat down on the blood-stained floor beside him. The guards tried to protest, but she waved them away. My mother's bondmate was named Krell. He was a soldier from a distant world, brave, strong, honorable, like you. She paused, collecting herself. The bond activated its combat protocols 23 times during the war. Each time, Krell killed with perfect efficiency, protected my mother without fail, but each time it took more of him away. What do you mean? Marcus asked. The bond doesn't just control your body during fights. It leaves pieces of itself behind. Little by little, your thoughts blend with mine. Your personality merges with mine. The bond doesn't just want you to protect me, Marcus. It wants us to become one being. Marcus felt sick. How long did it take for Krell? 3 years, Lyra whispered. 3 years until he could no longer remember his own name, no longer tell where his thoughts ended and my mother's began. He would wake up speaking her dreams, feel pain in body parts he didn't have. Towards the end, he would look in mirrors and not recognize his own face. And your mother watched this happen? Marcus asked. Her mother tried everything to stop it. Lyra's voice broke. Every ritual, every medicine, every plea to the ancient powers, nothing worked.
The bond is absolute. It cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, cannot be negotiated with." She looked at Marcus with devastated eyes. "In the end, my mother couldn't bear what she had done to him. She took poison, died in her arms, and because of the bond, he died too. Their hearts stopped in the same instant." Silence stretched between them. Outside, sirens wailed. Medical teams shouted orders. The palace was in chaos. But here, in this blood-soaked room, there was only truth. "Why did you tell me this?" Marcus asked. "Why not let me believe the bond was just protection?" "Because you deserve to know," Lyra said. "You deserve to know what you sacrificed when you jumped in front of that blade. You did not just save my life, Marcus Chen. You gave me yours, all of it, forever." She stood up slowly. "And I will carry that guilt until the day we both die." A new voice spoke from the doorway. "Well, this is quite the scene." Marcus looked up. A human man in Earth military's uniform stood there, colonel stripes on his shoulders, ice in his eyes. "Colonel Patterson," Marcus said, recognizing his former commanding officer. "Lieutenant Chen, or should I say, the princess's pet human." Patterson walked into the room, surveying the dead assassins with cold calculation. "Earth Command sent me to extract you. Your assignment here is over." "He cannot leave," Lyra said, standing. Her voice shifted back to royal authority. "The Telvara bond forbids it." "The bond?" Patterson laughed. "We don't recognize alien magic as legally binding. Chen is an Earth citizen, an Earth soldier. He comes with me, today." "If he goes beyond 100 meters from me, we both die," Lyra said flatly. Patterson's eyes narrowed. "Then you will come with us, both of you. Earth scientists will study this bond and break it." "It cannot be broken," Lyra insisted. "Everything can be broken, Your Highness, given the right tools and the right motivation." Patterson smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "And Earth has both." Marcus felt torn. Part of him wanted to go, wanted to escape this palace, this bond, this alien world, wanted his life back. But another part, a part growing stronger every day, whispered that Lyra was telling the truth. There was no escape. There was only adaptation, or madness. "I need time," Marcus said finally, "to think, to understand what is happening to me." "You have 24 hours, Patterson said. "Then we extract you, bond or no bond. Earth does not leave its soldiers behind." He turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Chen, those assassins were—"
Marcus kicked open the throne room doors. They crashed against the walls with a boom that echoed through the palace. Guards raised their weapons, but he did not care. King Varan sat on his throne, surrounded by advisors. Uncle Theron stood at his right hand, wearing robes of gold and silver. The traitor looked calm, too calm. Marcus stormed forward. Every step left bloody footprints. He had fought through 30 guards to get here. The bond had made him unstoppable, made him a monster of golden light and rage. "Where is she?" Marcus's voice was not quite human anymore. The bond's power made it deeper, colder, deadly. "Lieutenant Chen," King Varan stood. "What is the meaning of this intrusion? My daughter is in her chamber, safe, and—" "Liar!" Marcus threw something at the king's feet, a black piece of armor. The assassin's symbol burned into it. "I found this in the secret passages beneath the palace. Your brother's personal seal is stamped on the inside." Every eye in the room turned to Uncle Theron. Theron's face remained calm, but his 4 hands twitched. "Absurd. This human is clearly mad from the bond. Everyone knows bondmates lose their minds. He probably planted that armor himself." "Then explain this," Marcus said. He held up his wrist. The mark was completely black now, like a dying star. "The bond mark only turns black when the bonded one is dying. Lyra is dying right now, and I can feel exactly where she is." He pointed straight at Uncle Theron. "Underground, directly beneath your private quarters, in a dungeon that does not exist on any palace map." Silence fell like a hammer. King Varan's face went pale. "Theron, tell me this human is lying." "Of course he is lying, brother," Theron said smoothly. "He is trying to cause division, trying to make you doubt your own blood. This is exactly what Earth wants: chaos, confusion, war." "Then you will not mind if we search your quarters." Marcus took a step forward. "I will not be disrespected by a human pet." Theron's composure cracked. "You forget your place, animal. You are property now, a slave bound to—" Marcus moved faster than Theron could see. His hand closed around the uncle's throat, lifting him off the ground. The bond's power made Marcus strong enough to crush stone. "Where is she?" Theron gasped for air. His hands clawed at Marcus's grip, but it was like trying to move iron. "Guards!" King Varan shouted. "Stop him!" 20 guards rushed forward. Marcus threw Theron aside and turned to face them. The mark on his wrist blazed with black fire now. Wrong fire. Dying fire. "I do not have time for this," Marcus growled. His body moved. The bond took control again. Marcus watched from inside his own head as his hands broke weapons, shattered armor, threw bodies across the room like toys. It took 15 seconds to put 20 elite guards on the floor, groaning in pain. Marcus's control returned. He stood in the center of the carnage, breathing hard. Blood dripped from his knuckles, not his blood. "What have I become?" he whispered. King Varan stared at him with horror and awe. "The bond. I have never seen it so powerful, not even in the ancient texts." "Because she is dying," Marcus shouted. The pain in his chest was growing. The black mark was spreading up his arm now, like poison crawling through his veins. "Every second we waste, we both die." Theron laughed from where he had fallen. Blood ran from his mouth. Yes, you will both die, and I will take the throne. My niece was always too soft, too weak. She would have ruined Zavoria with her peace treaties and human-loving ways." "You admit it, then," King Varan said quietly, dangerously. "You betrayed your own blood." "I saved our people," Theron said, climbing to his feet. "That human jumped in front of a blade meant to free us. The assassins were supposed to kill her cleanly, quickly, but this animal ruined everything." He pointed at Marcus with shaking hands. "So I had to take matters into my own hands, kidnapped her myself. She is in my dungeon right now, chained, poisoned, dying slowly." King Varan's roar shook the throne room. "Where?" But Marcus was already running. The bond pulled him like a compass pointing to its true north. He crashed through a side door, down a spiral staircase, through passages he had never seen before. Behind him he heard guards following, heard the king shouting orders, heard Theron screaming curses. None of it mattered. Only one thing mattered. Find her, save her, now. The mark on his wrist was completely black now. The poison was spreading to his chest, his heart. He could feel his own life draining away with every step. Marcus burst through a final door. It had been hidden behind a false wall, ancient, forbidden, the kind of place where terrible things happened and nobody knew. The dungeon was small, just one room, stone walls, no windows, no light except for dying torches. And in the center, chained to a post, was Princess Lyra. She hung limply, her 6 arms shackled above her head. Her silver skin had turned gray. Her purple eyes were half closed, glazed with pain. Blood ran from her mouth. "Lyra!" Marcus ran to her. His hands grabbed the chains and pulled. They did not break. Ancient metal, stronger than anything he had ever felt. "Marcus," you breathed. "You came, even after everything I did to you." "Shut up," Marcus said. Tears ran down his face. When had he started crying? "Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here." "Cannot break those chains," she breathed. "Ancient, forged by old magic.
Only royal blood can open them. Then we wait for your father. He is coming. He will free you. Lyra coughed. More blood. No, no time. The poison is Velthara extract. Kills within minutes. I can feel my heart stopping. Hearts? Plural? We have 3 hearts. 2 have already stopped. Marcus felt his own chest tighten, his own hearts. No, that was impossible. Humans only had 1 heart. But the bond was pulling them together, merging them, and he could swear he felt 3 separate beats in his chest. 2 fading, 1 fighting. No, Marcus said fiercely. No, you do not get to die. I did not survive your bond just to watch you die anyway. I am sorry, Lyra breathed, for everything, for taking your freedom, your life, your soul. I am so sorry. Stop apologizing and fight! Marcus grabbed her face with both hands. Fight, damn you! The bond will not let me live without you. If you die, I die. So you have to fight. Lyra's eyes focused on his face, really looked at him for the first time. You don't want to die? Of course I don't want to die, Marcus shouted. I'm 28 years old. I have things to see, places to visit, and I can't do any of it if you give up. But you hate me. You hate the bond. You have destroyed me. Marcus stopped. The words caught in his throat. Did he hate her? Yes. No. Maybe. It was complicated. Everything about this was complicated. I don't know what I feel, he said honestly, but I know I don't want you to die, and not just because of the bond, because you're trapped too, because you're suffering too, because you carried guilt that is eating you alive. He pressed his forehead against hers. Because somewhere in this mess, I think I understand you, and that's terrifying. And maybe that's the bond talking, or maybe it's just me. I don't know anymore, but I do know that I'm not ready to lose you. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Marcus. Footsteps thundered down the stairs. King Varan burst into the dungeon, followed by guards and advisors. He saw his daughter hanging there, dying, and his face transformed into something terrible. No, 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 not you too, not like your mother. He ran to the chains. His hands touched them, and they glowed with blue light. Ancient magic recognized royal blood. The shackles opened. Lyra collapsed into Marcus's arms. She was so cold, so still. She's poisoned, Decepticon. Velthara extract. Is there an antidote? King Varan's face was ashen. No, no antidote. Velthara kills within minutes. It's too late. No! Marcus held Lyra tighter. There has to be something, some kind of magic, some kind of... There's one way, said an old voice from the doorway. An ancient Zavorian woman entered. She wore robes covered in symbols that seemed to move and shift in the torchlight. Her eyes were completely white, blind but seeing everything. High Priestess Ilara, King Varan breathed. I thought you died years ago. I have been waiting for this moment. The prophecy spoke of it. The bond that would break all bonds. The choice that would rewrite destiny.
Marcus woke up and immediately knew something was wrong. Not wrong, different. He could feel Lyra sleeping beside him, not just her physical presence. He felt her dreams, saw images of silver gardens and purple skies, felt her contentment, warm and soft like a blanket. And deeper than that, he felt her memories playing through her sleeping mind. Her 5th birthday when she got her first crown, her mother's smile, her father's pride. These were not his memories, but they felt like his. Marcus sat up carefully, trying not to wake her. But the moment he moved, Lyra's eyes opened. They had woken together without meaning to. "Good morning," she said softly. "Good morning," Marcus replied. Then they both paused. They had spoken in perfect unison, same words, same tone, same timing. This is going to take getting used to, Marcus thought. I agree, Lyra thought back, and Marcus realized with a jolt that he had not spoken aloud. She had heard his thoughts directly. They looked at each other, purple eyes meeting brown eyes, alien and human, princess and soldier, two beings who were now one. "Can you feel everything I feel?" Marcus asked aloud this time. "Yes," Lyra said. She reached out and touched his hand. Warmth flooded through both of them. "Your nervousness, your confusion, your curiosity about how this will work." "And I can feel yours," Marcus admitted. "Your fear that I will hate you for this, your hope that maybe, somehow, this could be something good." They sat in silence for a moment. The bond hummed between them, through them, around them. It was no longer a chain, it was a bridge, a connection so deep that neither knew where one ended and the other began. A sharp knock on the door broke the moment. "Your Highness," a guard's voice called, "the Earth delegation has arrived. They demand to speak with Lieutenant Chen immediately. They say they have orders to extract him by any means necessary." Marcus and Lyra exchanged a look. They both knew what this meant. Earth would not give up their soldier easily, and they would not accept the bond as real. They would try to break it, try to separate them, try to prove it was alien magic controlling a human mind. "We should go together," Lyra said. "Together," Marcus agreed. They walked through the palace hall side by side. Servants and guards stopped to stare. The story of what happened in the dungeon had spread through the entire palace overnight. Everyone knew about the absolute bond, the merger of souls. Some looked at them with wonder, others with fear, some with disgust. Marcus felt Lyra's hurt at those disgusted looks, felt her old insecurities rising, the princess who was never quite good enough, never quite perfect. Without thinking, Marcus squeezed her hand. "They do not matter. Only we matter." Lyra squeezed back. "Only we matter," she agreed. They entered the throne room together. King Varen sat on his throne, looking older and more tired than yesterday. The weight of his brother's betrayal showed in every line of his face. On the other side of the room stood Colonel Patterson and 10 Earth soldiers. They wore full combat armor, weapons ready. They looked like they were preparing for war. "Lieutenant Chen, step away from the alien. That is a direct order." Marcus and Lyra did not move. They stood together, hands still clasped. "I cannot," Marcus said calmly. "The bond will not allow separation beyond 100 meters." "Then we will carry you both to the ship. Our scientists will find a way to break this mind control." "It is not mind control," Lyra said firmly. "It is a soul bond, ancient, permanent, unbreakable." "We will see about that," Patterson replied. He gestured to his soldiers. "Seize them both." The soldiers moved forward. Marcus and Lyra did not resist, but when the first soldier grabbed Marcus's arm, something unexpected happened. The soldier screamed and let go. His hand was burned, red and blistered, as if he had touched molten metal. "What the hell?" Patterson stumbled back. High Priestess Ilara stepped out of the shadows. Her white eyes gleamed with ancient knowledge. "The absolute bond protects itself. Anyone who tries to separate them by force will be burned by the same magic that binds them. It is a defense mechanism, ancient, powerful, absolute." Patterson's face turned red with anger. "Then we will sedate them, drug them, keep them unconscious during transport." "If you sedate one, you sedate both. If you harm one, you harm both. If you kill one, you kill both. They are truly merged, one being in two bodies. What affects one affects the other." "This is insane," Patterson shouted. He pointed at Marcus. "Chen, I am ordering you to return to Earth now." "I cannot," Marcus said, and he realized it was true, not because the bond forced him, but because he did not want to. Patterson's expression shifted from anger to something darker. "Then you leave me no choice. Earth Command authorized me to use extreme measures if necessary." He pulled out a device that looked like a grenade, but instead of explosive, it glowed with strange energy. This is an EMP burst designed specifically to disrupt alien technology and magic. Our scientists theorize it might break your bond. Of course, it might also kill you both. But that is a risk Command is willing to take rather than leave one of our soldiers as an alien's pet. You would kill me to free me? Marcus asked quietly. Better dead than a slave, Patterson replied. I am not a slave, Marcus said steadily, calm, certain. I made a choice. I chose to save her. I chose to accept the complete bond. I chose to become what I am now. You were manipulated. I was saved, Marcus shouted. The mark on his wrist flared with golden light. I was dying. She performed a ritual that bound us together to save my life. Yes, it cost me my freedom. Yes, it changed everything. But you know what? She was trapped too. She did not want this bond either. But we both made choices. We both sacrificed. We both adapted. He took a step forward. Lyra moved with him, perfectly synchronized. And in that dungeon, when she was dying from poison, I had another choice. I could let her die and be free, or I could jump even deeper into the bond to save her. And I chose to save her, not because magic forced me, not because duty demanded it, but because I wanted to. Wanted to? Patterson laughed bitterly. You don't even know what you want anymore. Your thoughts are mixed with hers. Your mind is polluted with alien... Enough! King Varen's voice boomed through the throne room. He stood from his throne, and the weight of royal authority fell like a hammer. You will not threaten my daughter or her bondmate in my palace. You will not use weapons of destruction in my throne room, and you will not disrespect the choice that Marcus Chen has made. With all due respect, Your Majesty, Patterson said coldly, Chen is an Earth citizen. Earth law takes precedence. Not when he's bonded to Zavorian royalty, Varen replied. By our oldest laws, any bondmate of royal blood becomes Zavorian by soul right. Marcus Chen is now a citizen of both worlds. You cannot take him without his consent. Patterson's hand tightened on the EMP device, his face twisted with rage and frustration. Stand down, Colonel, a new voice said. Everyone turned. A woman in Earth ambassador robes entered the throne room. She was elderly, gray-haired, but her eyes were sharp and intelligent. Ambassador Williams, Patterson said through gritted teeth. Command authorized. Ambassador Williams interrupted. Command authorized extreme measures if Chen was being controlled against his will. But I have been watching, listening, and what I see is a young man who made an impossible choice in an impossible situation. Multiple choices, in fact, all of them to save someone else's life. She walked closer to Marcus and Lyra, studied them both carefully. The bond is real, she said finally. I can see it in the way they move together, breathe together, even think together. This is not mind control. This is something else, something humanity has never encountered before. They are an abomination, Patterson spat. They are a miracle, Ambassador Williams corrected. Two species that should not be able to merge, two souls that should not be able to coexist, yet here they stand, living proof that the impossible is possible. She turned to Marcus. Do you wish to return to Earth? Marcus felt Lyra's fear spike. Not fear of him leaving, but fear at what it would cost him to stay. Fear that he would resent her. Fear that one day he would look at her with hatred. He squeezed her hand again, sent her a wave of reassurance through the bond. I don't know what I want, Marcus said honestly. Part of me misses Earth, misses just being me. But another part of me, he looked at Lyra, another part of me knows that I would never be just me again anyway. The bond has changed me, changed us. We are something new now, and I want to see what that becomes. You are making a mistake, Patterson warned. Maybe, Marcus agreed, but it is my mistake to make. Ambassador Williams nodded slowly. Then Earth will respect your choice, for now. But know this, Lieutenant Chen, if we ever determine that you are being controlled, that your will is not your own,
We will come back, and